right, became, you know, one of the sensations that would have been locked into being a kid only, had made kid music specifically for kids.
Right.
But I think that they were trying to make music that adults would listen to as well. That was a real smart thing for them to do. And really, it was great to think ahead, because it made it easier for me to transition. When I worked with, you know, Organized Noise, when I worked with Puff, when I worked with, you know, those guys, they were trying to tell the coolest young guy's story. The guy who, you know, was kind of having emotions, but still trying to be a young fly player. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, yo, I got a little movement here. You know what I'm saying? I talk to women a certain way. They were giving me like, yo, you got to talk to a girl like this. You know what I mean? And, you know, when we do intros, like, yo, you talk over R&B records. Just how you got to talk to them, bro. You know? But, great that I was able to have more mature conversation, because I didn't get caught in the kid thing. I wasn't like a kid teen type sensation.
Right.
You know, I was out there trying to figure out how to take my shirt off and show my tic tac, you know what I'm saying?
You mentioned L.A. Reid sent you to New York, and you live with P. Diddy. They call it Flavor Camp.
Flavor Camp, yeah.
So what was that experience like, and how did that help Usher's career?
I don't think I would be the artist that I am today without the experiences that I had in New York City. One, just being in a new place where I would have to adjust, right? I didn't have the comfort of home. I'm in New York City, and they was, you know, done and sunning me to death, bro. And I was like, shout it, I don't know what you talking about. You know what I'm saying? We finna go over here, you know what I'm saying? And they was like laughing at me because I was Southern, and they were like New York, but they was like took me and they took me under their wing, you know what I'm saying? And looked at me like the little bruh.
Right.
You know, I think back to, you know, the earlier times of being there when Bad Boy was formed. You know, I learned something about business. I learned something about artist development in a different way. I learned something about culture. So having the ability to be around all these different cultures of people, it just helped me understand the world that I lived in. I wasn't isolated and felt like I needed to be protected. I wasn't. I was like, yo, we're gonna show you the real ropes. We show you what the world really looks like and give you a front seat. I'm looking at Biggie, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at Craig Mack, I'm looking at Onyx. We running in the streets. We like literally out here seeing how we in barbershop, they shooting dice, you know what I'm saying? You know, bet I don't, 4-4 out, 4, you know what I'm saying? 4-5, you know, I'm like, yo, what is this? You know what I'm saying? But so great to have had those experiences, because one, I didn't have a big brother, and my dad wasn't there in my life as a kid. So all these experiences just readied me for life. So greater than just being an artist, that man helped me understand life. He helped me understand what it was to be an artist. He helped me understand what it was to be passionate about something. He helped me understand culture. He helped me understand business on a different level, because I'm seeing him go from his independence to then becoming Puff Daddy. You know what I'm saying? And I got a front row seat looking at that. Thank God that I had that experience, you know what I'm saying?
And then
And by the way, at New York's hottest moment, you know what I'm saying? This is Terror Squad and Fat Joe. I'm like, how do I know all this stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm literally, I can remember being on stage, I can't curse on this, but I was like, one of the craziest experiences ever. I happened to be on stage performing with Biggie, and this is back when he had a song called Party and Bull Dung. Cow dong. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, this is crazy. But I was able to take all of that and then begin to understand, oh, okay, I get it. I see where the world is, but now I want to do this my way. Yeah.
Atlanta, Jermaine Dupri, you link up with JD, and what makes JD so good at his job?
You know, creative. He's extremely creative, and he's mindful of the artist that he's working with. He spends the time that is necessary to understand how to tell the artist story. He spends the time making certain that he understands the cadence as he writes. He's one of the world's greatest writers. I mean, you don't get no better, bruh. Like, somebody who has like multiple skills as a writer, as an artist, as a creative, whether it's fashion, whether it's lifestyle, cool, incredibly emotional when it comes to knowing how to pin it, because he listens to every word. He manages to get out of the way too. That's another thing. It's about him, because it's about his interpretation. And the interpreter always wins, but his ability to not make it about just him. He makes it about his artist. He's able to then say, all right, I'm gonna breathe life into this artist who's trying to find their way. Now, what you do with it, whether you dance or you rap or you go into movies or you do other things, that's how you keep going. But he really does understand the art of artistry, the art of being able to see the greatest things and pull the best things out.
Confessions.
Yeah.
Everybody thought Confessions was about you. Like you was just confession. You went to a confessional, but it was about him.
Well, no.
It was about you?
No, it was a collect. By the way, we made an album and we as men sat around like this. We were having real conversations, real talk, as a matter of fact. Mark Pitts, myself, JD, there's a couple of cats in the room that was going through this situation. I ain't trying to put nobody on blast, but I'm just saying, we all were having a conversation about this thing that was happening. And it ain't the first time that it happened. But here's an opportunity for me to be able to tell that story in a way where everybody could relate to it. It wasn't just me, JD, it was everybody.
It was everybody at that table was going through something.
Yo, by the way, I tell you no lies, everybody was going through some portion of what we were talking about in that studio.
Is Confessions the album that Usher's a bona fide superstar? He's here to stay. He ain't no flash in the pan. He's not here today, gone tomorrow. Usher Raymond is here, and you will forever remember this man's name.
You gotta tell me, bro.
Yeah, this.
You think so?
I think that's your greatest.
That's the greatest?
Yeah.
Body of work, 8701.
Oh no, okay. You see,
Okay.
when you put it like that, 8701.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, it's great that I could even have
If
this
you could
debate.
sing one album, if you only had to sing one album, and you couldn't sing, you got a lot of them, but you got to sing one for the next year and only one. What you rocking with?
Man, that's a hard one, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna rock with Confessions. Because I'm right. It's well-rounded, but I mean, just saying this, like between those two albums, I think that it would definitely have to be based off of success. It would have to be Confessions, yeah.
I mean, when you look at it, I mean, Diamond, Crazy, Sexy, Cool, Whitney Houston, Thriller. Bro, you get the Diamond, ain't a whole lot of diamonds out there.
There has been no other diamond since in this genre.
That make you feel good, doesn't it?
It's a good thing to have, you know what I'm saying? But also too, it's a bit of a thing, right? Because you're then aiming at that. And I never wanted to get caught up in what I've done in the past so much that I can't focus on where I am. Because the success has changed, right? If we, could count success by how many albums you actually sold, they don't sell albums in that way as a physical copy. Where we get on a line, we stand outside of Tower Records, you did it, right? I did it too, you know what I'm saying? And we got that album. We weren't like quick ordering that joint or either just clicking at a button and it's just there. So yeah, it's like the measure of success has to change in life. And by the way, this is important because if you don't do that, you manage to get caught in your mind and the psychological damage that could happen if you don't reach the same goal makes you feel as though you're not a success. That's not true. There's just always a different shift. Yo, I remember when, Vince Carter was jumping out the gym, bro. He shifted his whole game and three crazy. Still can jump if he wanted to, but them ankles, they ain't gonna. That's what I'm saying. So it's about, those are the people that I look up to, bro.
You said something very interesting because I've heard people say this about Michael, is that he kept trying to replicate the success that he had with Thriller. And Dirty Diana was a great album. It sold 8 million copies and subsequent albums that came out after that, but it wasn't Thriller. And it drove him to a point that if it didn't do 30 million, 40 million, 60 million copies, he didn't feel like it was successful. You said, I got in my mind early on that if I don't do the physical number that Confessions did, I'm okay with that. How are you able to do that, Usher? Because we're measured by our success. Because people judge you by what you did as a younger you. They don't compare you to anybody else that's in your genre currently. They compare you to a younger you.
Well, they shouldn't. What?
Come on with it, Usher. Come on with it. See, I know I get it out, and y'all see what he's saying. Y'all better leave that man alone. Y'all keep on talking about y'all the king of this and king of that. No. I'm sitting with the king right here.
You know, I'll just tell you two things on King Talk, right?
Okay.
But the confessions, right? Again, if you are living by the applause, you will die by the boos. T.I. told me that.
Yeah.
And it's spot on.
It is.
If you live for the applause, you're gonna die by the boos. You gotta do what you gotta do. And you gotta make your offering as clear as it could potentially be, because it's gonna serve at least one person. Because that's why we really do it, right? We do it because we wanna offer something that's gonna be the right dialogue or the right help or the right moment or the right service to whatever needed to happen in that moment, the celebration, the love making, the baby making, the ability to be emotional and finally be able to say what you really mean to this person. You know, be true to that. Right. If you start to chase the success in that same way, it could drive you crazy.
Right.
The only way that I was able to do that is to focus on other things, to focus on building longitude, latitude, right? I got to build more space. Let's take this thing that I got, my perspective, and I want to introduce some other artists. I want to try and let me go fail at some other things and get great at that, right? Because you peak in some ways, and then you figure out something else to work on. And then you peak at that, and you figure out something else, you peak at that.
But how are you able to have such success and willing to go try something that you might fail at? I mean, once you become successful, you're like, I kind of like this. I ain't really trying to fail, so I kind of want to stay. I'm going to come and stay where I'm at. But you're willing to go outside and like, okay, let me try to be a producer. Let me try to discover talent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, part of it also, too, honestly, became a bit of a reckless thing for me, because I think some of the actions that I had taken, some of the decisions that I had made began to sabotage me. And it may have been personal sabotage because I just wanted some idea of normalcy. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be able to get back to normal. I wanted to be able to have like a little bit. I didn't look at it the same way. Like, yo, I gotta go. Like we're now, you know, we're getting ready to take off. Now I want to go to the moon. Get to the moon. I want to go to the sun. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nah, I think that in some way I started to figure like I need to move things around and maybe move things. And some steps didn't help me. Some things that I did were not right. Some decisions I made, you know, hey, but I live with them all too, by the way. And I'm okay with that. That's the only way that I was able to get through it. I actually enjoy being in a position where I'm a bit of an underdog and I got to fight my way back up to the top. I love for you to say, oh, it's over. I love for you to say, oh, no, he ain't gonna do it again. Oh, no, it can't happen. No, that right there is motivation, because that means I got some place to go. I got some place to grow.
I mean, you were the first artist in the 2010s to collect 3 #1 singles in 3 consecutive decades. The 90s, Nice and Slow, You Make Me Wanna.
Yep.
You Make Me Wanna, Lead a Wanna. My Way. And then 2000, You Remind Me. You Got It Bad. You Don't Have to Call Me. Yeah, Burn, Confessions Part 2. And then 2010, OMG, There Goes My Baby, Climax.
Hits.
I mean.
We got hits.
Yes!
Got some hits, bruh.
I mean, you were landing more punches than Mayweather.
Yeah.
When will you go back and sit back? I mean, or do you take the time like?
This is it. That's what's happening right now. I'm actually sitting back and enjoying all of the labor of that. That's the moment I'm in right now. I'm in that moment of really enjoying the hard work. Now, I don't get a lot of sleep, but I think that that's just the reality of who I am as a person, because I love to work and I love to create. But I'm enjoying it finally. I'm able to, you know, because I've always been of service to people. Mm-hmm. Rather, I'm offering something.
Right.
And whether they like it or not is really up to them, not up to me.
Right.
But I like that actually makes me feel good. But now I get a chance to actually enjoy what I am creating, enjoy what I have created.
What's your favorite decade? I mean, 90s, 2000s,
I think somewhere in the 70s, like being motivated by that and then bringing that forward.
Right.
Because so many incredible artists were born in that time or created in that moment. Living in the 90s, I say it was a grand moment for all of us because it was a mixture between R&B and hip hop and in a way that felt, you know, it felt sensational. By the way, even in the South, because the South, it didn't have as much of a definition, but through the 90s and then on to the 2000s, you then began to understand, organized noise, Jermaine Dupri, Little John, incredible producers out of the South, began to really, really have a moment. But I really do think that it's something in the 70s, bro. Like the artists that came out of the 70s were incredible.
If you could have, I'm gonna give you 3. If you could perform with 3, collab with 3 artists from the 70s, who would it be?
If I could collab with them in the 70s?
In the 70s.
Oh, it would have been Quincy Jones.
Okay.
It would have been out of Philly. Gamble and Huff. Let me see. Who else? 70s. I think I said the 2. That actually is so strong.
I thought you was talking about artists that you would have liked to perform with.
Oh, perform with?
Yes, an artist you want to collab with.
Oh, artist to collab with? Man, it would have been great to do something with, like, Diana Ross. Would have been great to do something with, Donny Hathaway. Would have been great to do something with Michael Jackson. Yeah.
Give me a Mount Rushmore of R&B singers. Mount Rushmore. You only get 4, Usher. So, I've had people on here, they try to get 5. Stevie Wonder.
Let me see. Donny Hathaway, Whitney Houston. Ooh. I said Stevie Wonder, right?
You said Stevie
Okay,
first.
I put him on twice.
Okay.
Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye.
Didn't I just tell you had 4?
I'm sorry. Okay, so I can't take Michael out for Marvin? Oh, come on now.
You look at Michael as R&B?
Do I? You don't?
I thought he was the king of pop.
But man, he created a format that R&B was like, here's an interesting thing, right? Kings, right?
Yes.
I think all of those guys are kings.
Right.
I think that we get so caught up on being the number one king person, right?
Yeah.
To have that title to be the king.
Because normally you only got one king. You got a king and a queen. You got a lot of princes. You can be a lot of princes, but you can only have one king, Usher.
You can only have one king, one queen, but you can only have one Usher, baby. And Usher, you know what I'm saying? He get the ceremony right. He come out white glove service, baby. You know what I'm saying? We gonna deliver. Nah, hold on. But greater than being a king or either saying I want to have that one spot, what I see is needed is a kingdom.
Okay.
Right? So when I look at all of the genres of music, I see EDM and I look at festivals and I look at the lifestyle, the equipment. I look at, country music. I think boots. I think cowboys. You know what I'm saying? I think chaps. I think cowboy hats and rodeos and all kind of stuff like that. I think pickups. You know what I'm saying? There's a culture there, right? There's a kingdom to this idea. There's a monetization of that thing. R&B or either the genre that I came from, I don't think it possesses the same weight in terms of the other ancillary businesses that are there. And that's what I'm focused on. We're gonna be all kings, matter of fact. You know what I'm saying? There's tons of people who put in the work. I ain't the only person that's been put in them 1,000 hours. And I don't know or profess to be the only king. Am I the king of what I feel? Yeah, I am. Every day I wake up feeling like a king. You know what I'm saying? And I work hard to be that king, but I want a kingdom. I want us to be able to have the same potency in hip hop, right? When I think of hip hop, I think of what you're drinking. I think about the glasses you're wearing. I think about the shoes you got on. I think about, the records. I think about that culture. I think about the clothes you're wearing, right? I want the same thing. I want that kingdom for R&B in that same way.
Who was presented a collab with Usher and he turned it down and he's like, damn, I shouldn't have did that.
Collaboration?
Yeah. Is there a collab that someone asked you to be a part of and you didn't, and when it came out, you're like, damn.
Yeah. You're gonna hate me for this one. Oh. Jay-Z, Pharrell, Diddy.
Damn, Usher!
And me was supposed to be a group. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you're gonna hate me for that, I know. Yeah.
Why did you say no?
I didn't say no.
You didn't say yeah?
I didn't say yeah.
You said yeah on the record, but you didn't say yeah to that.
That's the one. I think that we just got caught up. I think we all got caught up in a moment. We was talking about it and having secret meetings about it. We were talking about music and how we gonna flip it and the business of it. And somehow, man, we just got distracted, you know what I'm saying? And it never happened, you know? That's the one that I actually wish would have happened.
Right.
Is there a movie or something that I was supposed to be a part of? A collaboration? Yeah, David Geffen reached out to me to be in Dreamgirls. And yeah, man, it just didn't happen. And I think everybody hit me about this joint too. I had Eddie Murphy hit me, man, Brandy hit me.
There's always a reason. You don't get in your car and just sit there. You go to the grocery store.
There you go, bro.
Or you drive to a concert.
I know.
You turned that down?
Yeah, I didn't do it.
Shanta, did you know about this?
I didn't know about this one.
Yeah. Drink to that.
I read that you were Beyonce's nanny. Were you Beyonce's nanny?
First of all, how can I be a nanny? I'll be a manny.
Man, but you know what I mean.
No, I wouldn't be Beyonce's nanny. Daryl Simmons, he had a group by the name of the Dolls.
Okay.
And they came to Atlanta for the first time. This is before Destiny's Child became Destiny's Child. And I think I looked over them while they was doing something in the house. I had to watch them because I was like the authority, because I guess I was the teenager at the time. But no, I wasn't a nanny, you know what I'm saying? No.
But you were just overseeing them, like making sure they ain't breaking nothing.
Making certain that they didn't, that they didn't get in no trouble in the house at the time. Yeah.
Did you know that little girl was going to grow up to be that big international superstar? Can you look at, because you did discover Justin Bieber, so you did see something. So clearly you got an eye for talent.
Yeah, well, not just by myself. There was a host of people. They say success has a million fathers, and an orphan, you got it. So I think when I saw them, I knew there was something very special about all of them, because as Destiny's Child, they all thrive. Even still to this day, when you see them and you see them together, they all thrive. They all are an incredible unit. Mm-hmm. Beyonce had a talent and also too a brilliance and a brightness that was much different. And it was actually Frank Gatson who helped me see it. He worked with me at the time. He was my choreographer, and then he started working with them.
Okay.
And he'd always told me, man, like, she's really special. You need to keep your eye on her. I was like, man, she is really special. And really great for my sister, man, to see that she's done so amazing and continue to thrive and just get bigger and better. And whether it's musically or in her life or creativity, all of it, man.
How is it working being on the stage with Michael Jackson? Because if you're in this business.
It's nerve-wracking. Bruh, I'm gonna tell you, so I'm in my seat and his manager comes over to me and he says, yo, you're gonna dance with Michael tonight. I'm like, I'm watching the show. What the heck do you mean I'm getting ready to dance with Michael? So he's like, no, come backstage. I'm like, first of all, I ain't got my Air Force Ones and I'm in boots. I can't dance in boots. So I'm like, oh my God. So now I'm going crazy. I'm backstage running around, I was asking like the people in the street, like, I literally left, bro. And I ran outside down the street asking somebody for some shoes. Give me some Air Force Ones. It was like Wallabies and like some New Balances. I was like, nah, that ain't gonna get it. I need Air Force Ones. So I come back in. I ain't got my Air Force Ones. I have some boots. So anyway, I went out there. So y'all see me I'm stuck a little bit. That's really what happened. But no, it was nerve-wracking to actually dance for and with Michael. I can remember rehearsals, and I don't normally go all out in rehearsals, dude. I was going all out, singing at the top of my lungs, dancing harder than I've ever danced, sweating, flying all over the room. He was like, man, you really have a talent. That was one of the greatest compliments that I could ever get. Wow. He says to me, you not only sing, but you dance. I know how hard that is. You sing and you dance. That combination is vicious.
Is that the greatest compliment you received?
He didn't say vicious, but he said you dance and sing. I'm putting 2 on 10.
Right.
He said that's a really special talent. And it really felt good to get that compliment from him.
Well, ATL, we running the music game right
Absolutely.
now. We on top of the world.
Yo.
How does that? Because you're part of that.
Yes.
I mean, you can't tell the story of Atlanta music without mentioning Usher Raymond.
No, man.
How did that make you feel?
Man, we did something, man. The Ace, man, listen, the South got something to say is what Dre said, and we've been saying it for a long time, you know, and the potency of that, you know, I think it's great. I think more than anything, again, there's this transition and this focus just for me, and I think it should be a focus for more artists, you know what I'm saying, to really focus on the other things that these genres or Southern music and entertainment breeds. There's an entire movement and feeling when you come to Atlanta.
Right.
Right? The world needs to know that. That's why I brought Atlanta to Las Vegas.
Wow.
You need to understand it. No different. Like you look at Cirque du Soleil and all of those shows, right? They celebrate their culture, whether it's in Spain or wherever it is. Our culture is the same. It might not be marketed the same. It might not feel, because it's culture, but all cultural things eventually become something that's commercial. And I wanted the world to be able to see and celebrate who we are, how we get out, what our music feels like, what our energy is, what our experience is, you know?
Two-part question.
Yep.
Is R&B dead, and will R&B ever be what it once was? At the height. I'm talking about at the height. 90s, early 2000, it was. Will it ever be that again?
So long as we quantify the success of it as a number one spot that has to be garnered in order to consider R&B the biggest thing, I don't know. That's in question for the world. Musically, I think that R&B is in everything. See, I ain't no fool. I understand where it all comes from. I understand the source.
Right.
Maybe y'all don't understand the source. Maybe you don't understand that it's gospel, blues, R&B, and everything flowed upward from there. So, no, it's gonna forever be a source. Will it be and have potency for the entire world to celebrate? I believe so, and I'm gonna continue to fight for it. I'm gonna continue to be that conduit for it. As I said, man, it's a kingdom that I'm after. I want the world to understand the value of what this music is, not just the service of it. Yeah, you put it on to make love. Yeah, you put it on to celebrate good times. Yeah, you put it on to emote and have emotions, but it also too serves so many other things that we gotta celebrate as well, you know?
How do you balance being a father and being this? You have the residency here in Vegas. I don't know if you're going to go back to tour again because you got it pretty good right here. You don't have to leave. You don't have to leave. After
one-stop shop.
Yeah. Once you get done, you go up to your room. Well, you got a place now here in Vegas, in Henderson. You said.
Yeah.
And so now you don't have to worry about getting on planes, trains, automobiles, and going one state to the next city. How do you balance that? Because you said because your father wasn't around when you were younger, that's very important to you that you're around for your kids now.
Yeah.
But you also understand that the way daddy make a living is by doing this. So how do you balance that?
Well, the balance is, up until 7 o'clock. It's funny. I'm focused on my kids.
Right.
And then at 7 o'clock on the dot, I'm working.
Okay.
It's funny how that works.
Right.
But, man, it's a balance, man. It's a balance in any field that we are, right? Especially if you got to travel with a team. I like to travel, actually, so I don't think that I'm done touring.
Right.
I do see it in the future, but maybe in a different way. I just played Paris, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I had an 8-day residency or 8-night residency in Paris that was a major success. To be able to, find space to sit down and really enjoy, because that's the most important part.
Yes.
Like the greatest thing that we have is time. It's not money. It's the time that you spend.
Right.
And being able to spend that time with my children, spend that time and really enjoy the places that I go. I don't want to lose that.
Right. You're part owner of the Cavaliers, and LeBron comes back and wins a title.
Yeah.
What was that moment, because you were there, what was that moment like in Cleveland, and what was that moment like for you?
Well, it all started, right? Because I don't know if I had as much to do with Cleveland as much as it was a business opportunity for minority ownership in this team. And Dan Gilbert gave me that opportunity. you know, just as LeBron was making his way in to the league. So we all, you know, had heard and known about him and his talent. So I felt like the luckiest man in the world to be a part of this incredible organization, and what a story to be told and a legacy to be built. I was just happy, obviously, to have that be one of the first major entrepreneurial, you know, kind of things that I had gone after, and it had the potential to be successful. Man, when he left, I think it was hard for everybody in the world, specifically in Cleveland.
Right.